Hi guys, it's Movie Recapped Queen, and today I will recapping The Girlfriend Experience, Season 1. Law student Christine Reed gets an internship at the law firm of Kirkland and Allen. She is introduced to the world of transactional relationships by her classmate Avery, who works as a high-end escort. She is invited by Avery to go out for drinks with one of her clients, Garrett, and his friend Martin. She accepts money in an envelope from Martin via Avery. Christine provides her first girlfriend experience with Martin. She is introduced to Jacqueline, the woman who runs the escort service and who will book her clients, and receive a 30% fee in exchange. Christine is set up with two new clients, Ryan and Michael. Avery moves in with Christine in her new apartment when her relationship with Garrett ends, as she had previously been living in one of his expensive homes. Later at night, Christine and Avery kiss and have a sexual encounter. Christine continues to see her various clients, including Martin, Ryan, and Michael. She later meets a new client, Kevin, who is more on the nervous and sensitive side. Avery tells Christine that she has dropped out of school and believes Jacqueline is ignoring her. Christine meets with Jacqueline to talk about Avery, and Jacqueline warns her that Avery is an erratic and unreliable person. When Avery tells Christine that Jacqueline has cleared out her Avery's bank account, which Jacqueline had access to, Christine angrily confronts Jacqueline. Christine later comes home to find that Avery has left and stolen from her safety deposit box. Christine talks with her clients about the possibility of leaving Jacqueline. At the office, Christine receives an envelope containing photos of herself that were taken for her escort work, including photos showing her face, which worries her. David and Aaron try to win back their biggest client, XHP, by talking with XHP executive Emery Wright. Kevin, one of Christine's clients, puts her in an uncomfortable position when he asks if she could lower her rate because he's having a hard time paying to see her. She later cuts him off as a client as she can't make exceptions. Ryan's wife discovers he is seeing Christine after they are spotted together by one of Ryan's friends and his wife, and she offers her $20,000 to stay away. They later meet and Christine accepts the money. Christine gets together with her older sister Annabelle, who is visiting. Christine admits to her sister that she simply doesn't like people, and asks her if she's abnormally selfish or a sociopath. Christine attends an office party at David's house. Kirkland and Allen retain XHP as a client after it's later revealed that Aaron is sleeping with Emery and is now the lead on the case. Christine and David go out for drinks and they later end up at his apartment. He reveals he's having marital problems. Eventually it leads to them having sex and she spends the night. Christine goes out with Michael on his yacht. Later, she learns he has died and left her $500,000 from his will. To claim the money, she must prove to be Chelsea Rain, the name the money was willed to, however it would expose her life as an escort. Christine sees two new clients, a married couple, but she is too distraught over Michael's death and too drunk to satisfy them. Christine and David continue their affair. In the morning, after David leaves his apartment, Christine notices Ben Holgram, the opposing counsel on the case, return some files. Christine and Aaron go out to lunch, and Aaron seems to be aware of her affair with David. Christine asks Martin for legal advice about how to handle the situation with the will. David is promoted to managing partner and Christine is reassigned to a different lawyer. Feeling suspicious of David, Christine convinces him to have sex with her one more time. In his apartment, she overhears a conversation he is having with Ben, in which he promises the case will never go to trial. She and David later have sex and she leads him into saying incriminating things such as, "Then I'll have to fire you," in response to them not having sex. It's later revealed that Christine has recorded the phone conversation and them having sex. Michael's family is willing to expose him and Christine's escort work in an attempt to get her to stop pursuing the money from Michael's will. Christine sees a new client, Jack, but he continually pushes personal boundaries around her and is jealous when he sees her with other men. Christine goes out on a double date with Jack, pretending to be his girlfriend, at a dinner party with a couple who are Jack's friends. At work, Christine learns her access to David's computer files on XHP has been revoked. Jack scares Christine when he sneaks up behind her in a pool and pulls her under the water. She angrily tells him, "Don't ever do that again." Jack surprises Christine by giving her a key to a home he just bought. The next morning, Christine leaves their hotel room, but returns when she realizes she doesn't have her phone. She retrieves it but feels suspicious of Jack. At the office, Christine asks Aaron if she can join the XHP case. After Christine sees Jack another time, he calls her, but she had never given him her number. He repeatedly calls again while she is at work, and she forcefully tells him she doesn't want him in her life. Upon returning to her apartment, Christine receives flowers and a note from Jack, given to her by the doorman. She has the doorman escort her to her apartment as she checks her apartment. The next day she has a video recording system installed. Christine meets a new client, Alex, in a restaurant. As they have sex in a hotel room, a man in a separate building takes photos of them. The man follows Alex to his home and introduces himself as a private investigator. He blackmails Alex into setting up a meeting with Christine. At work, Christine gains access to the computer files by getting a password from Kayla, a fellow intern, and learns that some of the files are missing. Christine meets with the private investigator, Simon Bircher, in a hotel room where he poses as a new client. She begins to feel uneasy and suspicious of his actions, so she excuses herself and gives him back his money. Simon recorded their conversations, however, nothing incriminating is said by Christine. Simon later speaks with Jacqueline on the phone. She had given up information on Christine. When leaving work, Christine is approached by Simon, who reveals who he is. Simon tells Christine he will expose her if she tries to claim the money from Michael's will. Christine signs away her claim to the money, but if the family exposes her profession, she will receive the money as they would violate a gag order obtained by Martin. At law school, Christine's professor is worried about her number of absences. When walking to her car, Christine is approached by Jack, but she drives off pretending not to know him. Christine meets with Anna, one of Jack's friends whom they went on the double date with, and expresses her fear of Jack and that they have broken up. Christine is in the process of meeting a new client at a restaurant, but she is spotted by David, who is meeting with Ben. Christine then cancels the date and leaves. At the office, Kayla tells Christine to stop using her password as she doesn't want to get into trouble. Christine reveals to Aaron that David is intentionally throwing the XHP case and provides the voice recording. However, it's later revealed that Aaron is in on it and informs David and Ben. The next day at the office, Christine continually gets calls from Jack and she hangs up every time. David receives an email, sent from Christine's account, of her and Jack having sex, potentially exposing her as an escort. The video of Christine has been emailed to the entire office as well as to her family. David calls Christine into his office to discuss what has happened. She insists she didn't send the video. David tells her to delete all communications she has ever had with him as he doesn't want to be associated with her. Christine begins recording every conversation she has in the office, including the one she just had with David, and of male coworkers making innuendo-laden comments around her. Christine is eventually fired and breaks down at her desk, crying and breathing very rapidly. After being treated by paramedics, Christine is taken home by Kayla. Christine advertises herself on an escort website under the name Amanda Hayes. She travels to Toronto to see new clients. She sees a client named Dennis, but once they finish having sex, he tells her to leave. She then sees Gary, who already has 2 escorts at his home. He snorts cocaine, and offers her more money to stay longer. There, she spends most of her time talking with Monica, another escort. The next day, Christine and Monica go on a double date with 2 new clients. Christine and Monica talk about the escort business. Christine gets a phone call from Martin, who tells her the sex tape has been leaked online. Christine returns to Chicago. She continues to see Dennis via webcam. Christine meets with Martin and shows him the voice recordings from the office and the video of her and David having sex. She plans on suing Kirkland and Allen for sexual harassment in a hostile work environment. Martin and Christine come up with a strategy that the video was leaked by an angry ex-boyfriend and they were role-playing, and denies she's an escort. David is fired from Kirkland and Allen when they discover the video of him and Christine having sex. Aaron takes David's position as managing partner at the firm. Kirkland and Allen settles with Christine, paying her $1 million. Christine buys a luxurious new apartment. David interviews for a new job at a law firm. Christine meets David for lunch and they have a heated exchange with David calling her a whore. She throws a glass of water on him and leaves. David tries to make amends with his wife and repair their marriage. Late at night, David sits at his computer watching Christine's sex tape. Christine goes home for her parents' 30th anniversary party. Due to the sex tape, her family is fairly awkward around her, especially her sister and mother. After the party, back at home, Christine's mother shares her disappointment. In the morning, Christine leaves early as she can't be around her mother. Christine's father drives her to the airport. Back at home, Christine's father believes the video was sent by an ex-boyfriend, while her mother disagrees, saying Christine has always been selfish and wanted attention. Back in Chicago, Christine continues her escort work and has a photo shoot done. Christine, now in the upper echelon of the high-end escort business, perfects her look by getting waxed, chemical peels and her hair done. She also has a chauffeur and begins to learn French. Christine has lunch with her sister where she reveals she's done with law school. Annabelle, in disbelief, asks her if she's going to be an escort for the rest of her life, but Christine doesn't answer. Later, Christine performs an elaborate cuckold role play with a male escort for a new client. After the role play is over, Christine lies by herself masturbating.